Hello and welcome to Darlin Alleys, a video channel about my travels in a Sprinter van. This segment is day 2 of my travel from Northern California to Tennessee. I've already gone from Sacramento to Phoenix and now I'm on my way east. I'm coming across or up to the Arizona-New Mexico border. New Mexico has given me a lot of problems with this altitude climbing with this limp mode. Coming west, it was about 30 miles of limp mode just going up on I-40. This is I-10, so maybe it's a little bit more mild going east, so we'll see. But you can tell we're pretty high up still and we're going down into a valley, and the other side maybe not quite as high altitude, so it might be a little bit of a break going back east and not having to climb so much. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. Still going downhill a little bit and hitting the valley floor here. Getting close to the New Mexico border. Pretty much everything's legal here in the West too. Fireworks, firearms, and probably a few other things. Fuel is really cheap in Arizona, cheaper than California anyway. Anything, once you leave California, anything seems cheap. So I know diesel went from $3.95 a gallon to $2.95 in Phoenix and Tucson. Hopefully be a little less. I know in Oklahoma and Texas it's $2.65 and in that range. So $1.50 cheaper in the middle of the country versus beautiful California. So this is a good example of the limp mode. It's hard to tell now because I'm on this upgrade. Here's the rear view mirror. Maybe that'll tell you. See how much more the grade has increased. We're going up this hill. We're almost to the top, but I'm in third gear. We slow down as we get to the top and level off. I'm hoping to show this video so I can show you the repaired video when a new fix comes to this Sprinter van, which my new friend Serge, who has his own YouTube channel, will hopefully be helping me with by helping this simple vacuum leak that the Sprinter van has. So now the grade's a little bit less. Here's the front, here's the rear. I shifted up to fourth gear and going along about 50 miles an hour. So I have to maintain this till we get back to level ground or downhill and then go back into drive or fifth gear. So, one thing I forgot to say, and now I forgot it again, talked about the audio, talked about the grades and the part of the country we're in. Can't remember, but this is it. So this another thing about this highway and on I-40, I think, is this thing. See the thing. These billboards are like every mile you'll see this billboard for the thing. Never stop to see what the thing is, but I'm guessing it's a disappointment. When you read 50 billboards and you finally get to it and see what it really is after paying probably $20 or whatever, it's probably quite a letdown. I don't think I'm going to stop and check it out, but maybe somebody who knows more about it can tell us more about it. So we continue now on our upward grade, fourth gear, 50 miles an hour, and it's hard to tell. You can see the valley we just traversed there, so we're on the upward side of the other side of that valley now after that steep descent. You can see up here, see how that truck's going downhill a little bit now? So we're going to get over this little ridge and hit some level ground. And I think getting through these mountains is the end of this up and down elevation and shifting that we're going to have to do. But for now it's a bit of a pain because we're cruising along at 50 miles an hour. And just seems so slow after 75. This van has a really good engine in it. It's a 6-cylinder, 3-liter turbo diesel. And when you're on level ground at 25, right now we're at 2,500 RPMs. You see the gauge at the right. At 2,600 RPMs on level ground, it cruises at 75 miles an hour. And it gets close to 18.5 to 19 miles per gallon. And right now you can see the computer's telling us, because we're dragging along uphill in this crappy downshift mode, we're only getting 14 miles per gallon because we're going uphill, or we're just not in the best gear to optimize the gear ratio and the speed. And we're going slow, but we're going uphill, and there's a reason we're going slow, like this kind of bike. Okay, so that's it for now. See you on the downhill side. Okay, so I just remembered what I forgot 2 times. The Sprinter van has a dash cam. It has a forward and reverse dash cam, although the reverse only goes from the, kind of looks like that view. It only shows you from about 1/3 of the front of the van towards the back. So you got to look through the van and then through the windows. Get that sort of view. I may actually move that camera, that's the rear view camera, up to the dashboard so I can just get a video view of myself, and then just use the forward view. The forward view looks just like we're looking here. It's really good. But the problem with the dash cam is that I'm using a card. Maybe if I get a really big, a larger SD card, I can get a lot more memory. Is it overwrites. It just runs little 30-second video clips, and then when it gets full, it overwrites the oldest ones. And I think it's good for maybe 2 hours. So unless you stop every 2 hours and download everything, you'd start to lose video. I mean, you can capture video if you see something super special, or if you're in an accident, you can actually capture the accident, the last 5 minutes of video or 2 minutes or whatever you want of video. I never use that though. I've fortunately never been in an accident, but maybe I should learn a little bit more about that and capture the cool stuff, because I've been through some really cool stuff, and I think, wow, I wish I had my camera out, but I always have this dash cam going, and kind of missed out on some stuff because I let it get overwritten when the video processed through. Just the cycle of 2 hours later, it overwrites the old files. So that was what I forgot. Not a huge thing, but I'm glad I remembered it. Alright, so here's another little climb we got to do. Hopefully we'll be through these hills or these mountains pretty soon. I'm gonna let this run just to show the cool scenery. This is just awesome scenery, even though it's kind of a pain in the butt. I'm driving through it because of the shifting, but just looking around here, man, it's just so beautiful. It's so dry and deserty, but we live in such a beautiful place, this country, with all this great open space, and the West just gives you not only the visual, but the feeling of how things were in the past, and how people that came through here had their hardships to make it through all this. But man, it's kind of a feeling of freedom too, that it's just so wide open and uncramped and free. Anyway, just a thought as we're going through these mini canyons and rocky, deserty, sandy places. The weather here is perfect today too. It's not terribly hot, 72 degrees. I don't think you'd want to be out there too long without water. Even in 70 degrees, it feels really hot in the sun. I'm driving along, I just have the fan on. I don't even have to use the air conditioning, but it's just perfect weather. I don't know how much rain they get here every year, but it seems like it would be very unusual. You can see there's some green, not too much, and not too many flourishing plants. Just looks like scrubby plants that do the best they can. But very beautiful landscape. I'm gonna let this run as we go through these canyons. So back up into drive, going 60, so it's not too hard of a climb here. Even though it looks kind of steep, we're losing a little speed here, but downshift again. But it's not too bad. And I know this doesn't last forever because, like I said, coming west, I went through eastern New Mexico and climbed this plateau for about 30 or 40 miles, and it was just bad at that point, and after that it was fine. So northern Arizona and New Mexico are really kind of hilly, mountainy, and give you some terrain, altitude, elevation changes. Whichever of those three words is the right word. But Texas, once we get to Texas, it's flat and smooth. And then I don't think I'll have... I'm going south, so I-10, if you look at a map of I-10, it's all southern, kind of flat, so I should be able to just cruise. Probably nothing until the east in mountain problems or mountain terrain changes until maybe even the Smokies, where Chattanooga is. Chattanooga, Atlanta, where we start to hit some mountains again. So anyway, here we go.